What's up, guys? I wanted to hop on here and do a trade recap of the past 2 days. Some of my better trades, honestly. So yeah, let's just get into it. I switched to trading the Nasdaq. I ended up back testing, or me and a buddy, I should say, mostly him actually, ended up back testing the strategy that I use and that he's learning to use. And he tested it on NQ and ES and found that NQ was much better in terms of risk to reward and profit factor and win rate. So I actually ended up switching back to trading NQ over ES, and so far it's working out great. I will note that NQ was really what I traded originally prior to becoming a full-time trader, and that's where I was able to grow, my small account into a large one. So I think it makes sense to just go back to it. I was actually struggling, the past month or so on ES, just not getting like the returns that I wanted. There were some times where I would get stopped out and stop ran and things like that. So this week I went back to NQ and it's been working out really well. So let's get into it. Let me go to replay mode here. So this is what we kind of had on the day for NQ. Just ignore this bar, but we had like a falling type wedge on NQ and ES as well. I'm just going to go over NQ. But we had like a falling wedge into support and resistance here on the 8-hour. You should be able to see the major support and resistance level we were at right here. Once, twice, 3 times here, and we came back into it. We were also hitting the very bottom of this channel and this trend line. So I was looking for buyers to step in because I believe that we were oversold a lot. We had, sold down the past 4 or 5 days straight down without really any sort of a pullback. So I was looking for longs at this level due to these confluences here. So there was another like 3-hour zone, I want to say, like right in this area. So I was looking for longs, kind of off the bat, because this was where my support and resistance level was. So we were dipping under it a little bit. So I was expecting us to dip and kind of bounce back over it. So market opened up. Really nothing to see there, kind of just a fat doji type bar. Doesn't really tell me a lot because we didn't clear the highs, didn't clear the lows. We're still in a range. Next candle, literally an inside bar. Doesn't give me any more information whatsoever. Then we did come down on high volume, so this was looking bearish. Note, I wasn't looking to play shorts, so this kind of went against my thesis, and I was thinking, okay, well, let's see what happens. Next candle was lower volume, came up, and I actually took a long here. I scaled into a long here, and then I put a limit order to scale in again here with a stop at the low of day. And the reason I did this was because the 30-minute was looking like a high volume hammer in our 3-hour zone that I had right here. So this looked good to me. I was thinking, this is perfect. This is where we rip up and this is gonna be great, and I was gonna target like this area up here, kind of like this 12,300 area down from 166, so about 150 points on NQ. And if we size in down here, our stop's about 70 or so. So about 2-to-1 trade. Next candle, we broke the lows. And so I got stopped out. It's a little bit discouraged on that, realizing that this was kind of just a low volume pullback. But honestly, it looked good to me. We ran we ran stops of the pre-market low right here, got bought back up. I thought it looked good. I don't know if I really would have done anything different. So after that, just kind of waited. We dropped down. We did have this daily demand area right here, so at 12,043. And so I actually put a limit order in right there to go long. Scaled in, so I was in about quarter size. And then we got this inverted hammer pin bar on high volume at the lows. Y'all know that I look for those as confirmation of a reversal or a reversal sign. So I scaled in again. Didn't show a whole lot. We were kind of starting to break out, and I did draw this kind of trend line we had. So I was thinking, okay, we got buyers down here in demand. Once we break this trend line, we're going to be golden and we're going to rock it. So we broke it. Doji came in, higher volume. Was kind of iffy about it. Looks like we were still holding the upside of it. And then this candle is where I scaled in again because we broke the lows here, hammer on higher volume, and we closed back in the range. So I was thinking, so I'd scaled in a few times, and then I put my stop under this hammer saying that if this doesn't hold up, then the trade is wrong. So we got our volume push on a very strong bar right at previous resistance. And so this looked good for more. So this was the volume we were looking to start the trend. And then we got a little bit higher volume here on a smaller candle. So wasn't all buyers there. So this is where I scaled out because my entry was roughly 12.043 is basically right at demand. So this is about a 2-to-1 risk to reward just on this move right here. So scaled out about half and then waited. So this next candle came in, this broke the highs. This is the very peak of this trend or of this leg, and it was lower volume. So I was thinking, okay, this is the start of a low volume pullback, and I expect us to dip down and then rip back up. Because again, I was going off the daily support and resistance area. I wasn't expecting us to just fall through this area, so I was looking for buyers to get long. Pull back, low volume pullback, we're good. Volume kicks in again, and now we're off to the races for leg 2. Then we get a huge spike. I scaled some there at about 12.175. And then we got a little bit more of a spike, and I scaled a little bit here, and then I just had runners at that point. I put a stop under this swing low and just kind of held. So those were either going to be small profit or large profit, but I was really happy on the trade because scaling here was about 5-to-1 or so. So I got a 2-to-1 exit, 5-to-1, and then I was just holding for basically 1-to-1 or even more. Got another big candle, basically just holding here. And then at the end of the day, I sold up here because this was about a 10-to-1 risk to reward trade. So I'm down here all the way up. That's one of my best trades I've had in a while, catching the whole move of something. So that was solid. Then we'll go to today. So on the day, we had so this was the day yesterday, extremely high volume on this pin bar. So I was expecting some follow through today due to the strength of the bulls. This is the highest volume I've seen on NQ in literally, I don't even know how long, since, what day is this? July 5th. So super high volume hammer, pin bar, whatever you want to call it. The wick just shows lots of buyers, okay? So we come into today. We form a channel here. So we got some data release here, and we hit supply. So due to the strength of the bulls, I was looking for more upside today. So I was more looking for longs due to us breaking out of this channel. And just the strength of the bulls on this move. So I actually marked, what was it, 3 hour? Yeah, marked like a 3 hour zone here. It's not the strongest, but a lot of times these small red bars followed by a pop will come back and get retested for more upside. Might have been maybe 2 hours showed it better. No, there's a 90. 90, that's it. 90 was good. So 90-minute demand, and so I was looking to play this long. There was another, I think there was about a 4 hour up here, but that was lower. But I liked this one because of multiple reasons. So we were at this yellow dotted line, which is the previous high day. So that usually acts as support and resistance, okay? So that's one confluence for the bulls to take control or keep control because that's a support and resistance. 2, we had this downtrend line. So we broke out above it. Lots of times we'll come back and retest it and then go. So that's 2 confirmations. 3rd was demand that just formed fresh pre-market. So we had lots of buying, came up, tested supply, and then came back down. So Open, we dumped from supply. That was a really nice move. And I was just waiting. So didn't really see anything here that I liked. I was waiting for us to hit this zone to scale in. Scaled in here as we hit. And then I saw on the 5-minute we had basically tweezer bottom. That's what they call it. I don't know. But we had a high volume into the zone. And then this next bar pushed up, closed at the very high of this red candle. So if sellers were strong on this volume, they would not have allowed this candle to close up here. So I scaled in again. So I was in about half size that I normally take. And then the 15-minute close like this probably could have and should have scaled in again right here, because the close of this 15 basically confirmed the strength of the bulls out of this zone. High volume, we're pushing back up into this red candle, looks good. Next candle, full green. Didn't hit supply quite yet. We hit this one, but this is just a small minor zone of the day. Lower volume, so I was not going to scale out on a lower volume candle. I'm going to scale out into strength on large bars in your favor. Then we hit this, so we pushed up into supply a little bit more, and we had a high volume candle, a little bit of a wick up top. This is about where I scaled out. I think I scaled a couple right here and then one higher up, so my average was roughly right here. But basically scaled out the whole trade at that point. And basically it was my average entry was 12,300. It was literally right there. My exit, say average was right there, and our stop is under the low, so about right here. So that was about a 5-to-1 risk to reward trade. So lots of things lined up for that trade. It was pretty stress-free, honestly, just the way I like it, not having to hold long for the move to happen. Planned out prior to the market open, and yeah, that was a great trade. So last 2 days have been awesome. Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, I kind of wish I caught the rest of this on the news, but what are you gonna do? You know, huge volume, huge candle, strong close. We're going down. Then again, if you were in, you'd get out. Oh shit, my bad. Get out on volume spikes. So if you got in on this volume spike, right? Strong volume, extremely strong volume, I should say. Very strong close. Looks great for more downside. Another push down on higher volume. I'd probably scale one there, or scale a little bit. And then you're just waiting for the next volume spike. Next one didn't spike. Next one didn't spike. Down here, volume spiked. And by spike, I mean it's relatively higher than the previous candles or candle. So if you scale out on those spikes, you're going to catch most of the tops of the legs of the move. So you got down here, almost the top. That's a top, or I should say a bottom. Bottom prior to a pullback, bottom prior to a pullback. So, and that's why the 15-minute is the greatest. So, really good week. Yeah. So let's kill it next week, and I'll see you guys in the Discord. Bye.